This is Afro Vibes Radio Houston.
What up, what up? It's your girl Amber Lee, and you're listening to Behind the Beauty Unleashed right here on Afro Vibes Radio, the #1 station for Afro beats and Caribbean beats. Thank you so much for tuning into another show with me. So today's topic is the lack of representation of hairstylists behind the scenes and how you can take your hairstyling skills from behind the chair to on set working with celebrities. So today, to help me out to talk all about this is celebrity hairstylist, author, and educator, Miss Monaè Everett. How are you, girl?
I am wonderful, Amber Lee. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for taking the time in your crazy busy schedule to hang out with us. I'm so excited for all the things you will be sharing with us. So a little bit, you guys, about Monaè's little background. Little background. She has a extensive background. You've been in the industry for 17 years, right? 17, 18 years?
Yeah. Girl, we're coming up on 2 decades. I can't believe it.
Oh my goodness. That is insane. So I was reading a little bit about you, and so your background is in film, television, print. You've done New York Fashion Week several times. You've been in Harper's Bazaar, Essence Magazine, InStyle, Yahoo. You've worked with celebrities such as Mariah Carey, Serena Williams, Taraji Henson, Viola Davis, just to name a few. Oh my goodness. So tell us, that was just a little bit, but I want to know more. How did you get your start in hairstyling specifically, and what drove you to move forward into working on set?
Well, I was always a very opinionated little girl, and growing up, I would see celebrities on TV, and red carpets were kind of a new thing, and it was very new to be so opinionated and outspoken as a teenager. And people would always say to me, well, if you can't do better, you shouldn't say anything. And I was like, well, given the opportunity, I'm sure I could do better.
Girl, yes.
So I was fortunate enough to be able to take cosmetology my senior year in high school, freshman year in college, where I went to study communications, radio, PR. Mm-hmm. And I thought, oh, okay, well, I'll just do makeup and hair and stuff to make a little bit of money because, I had the fortunate circumstance of putting myself through school. So I thought, okay, this will be great. I'll just, make a little bit of money. But my senior year in college, I overheard a coworker that I really looked up to discussing on set work and how hairstylists are paid to do magazines and billboards and the Kmart ads and stuff like that. I had never heard of it. It never occurred to me. I was in a smaller town, smaller city in Northern Virginia. Mm-hmm. It didn't occur to me that they paid someone to do the hair in the Target commercials.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I had no idea. So she directed me to Craigslist, and I started finding books and things, the very few books there were on the subject. Mm-hmm. And basically I decided that I didn't love what I had been exposed to in radio and TV, and I was really good at hair. Mm-hmm. So I decided fresh out of college in Virginia, I was going to quit everything and be a celebrity hairstylist with no celebrities in my book and very few good pictures.
Hey, but look at you now.
Well, there was a very tough road and a lot of education, a lot of training my eye and learning what looks good in front of the camera versus what looks good leaving a salon. Mm-hmm. So this is why I'm so passionate about education, because there's so many things we just don't know that we don't know.
Yes, exactly. And just what sets you apart as well, as far as working behind the chair and then working on set,
Absolutely. So I have always been able to style all hair textures. That was very unique. It's still, an issue now that people can't style hair textures outside of what they have or what their family has.
And that's one thing that when I did learn about you in New York, that's what really stood out to me too. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's like me. It's like I never wanted to be boxed in, like put in a box, like, okay, you know, you can only do extensions, or you can only do color, you can only cut, or you can only do black hair. I've always was interested in just hair, you know,
exactly.
or working with all skin tones, all hair types, because it's like, I feel like you can't be a master at hair if you don't know how to work with every single texture.
You're so absolutely right. And I have to admit, you know, my family was not supportive of me going into the hair industry, because the same thing my guidance counselor told me, only dumb girls do hair. That was the big misconception. You only did that like if you got pregnant or you got kicked out and you needed money right away. It wasn't something that someone with a high GPA like myself would do. So I felt, well, if I'm not going to go into radio and TV, then if I'm giving it up, I better be the best I can at this beauty stuff. You know, I better really soar. And still to this day, doors are opening. So my mind could not comprehend the numerous opportunities that existed in the beauty world. I had no idea. I mean, heck, you have beauty physicists and specialists and creators, you know, and photo shoots. I had no idea about that. So I learned a little at a time. And the more I knew, the more I grew. And, you know, I started off doing little fashion shows, and then someone will see you and refer you to someone else. But I also learned a lot about how to market myself and my talents. And a lot of creatives shy away from that. But I like to say, think about it this way. When you go to church on Sunday, there are so many amazing singers. How come you don't hear them on the radio?
Yeah, it's true.
There's got to be a difference. There's tenacity, there's marketing, there's endurance, there's tons of reasons why people stop at different levels. And all I know is I wanted to go to the top. It didn't even occur to me until I moved to New York that there are so few people that look like me in positions to make decisions. There's very few Black women at the top of beauty. There are very few Blacks, period. When you get into the high-end decision makers, where are we? Where's this representation?
It's true. And you were actually just today featured in O Magazine talking about just this.
Yes,
Black
absolutely.
hairstylists, are you out there? Why isn't Hollywood hiring them? So can you just expand a little bit about that feature, about that article?
Absolutely. So I am so elated that Oprah Magazine chose to speak to me and garner my opinion about the lack of inclusion on set. And I'm going to tell you, it's the Libra in me. I see things from multiple angles. A big misconception that a lot of people have is that if you have Black people in a film or production, there should be Black hairstylists. I don't agree with that. I believe that any hairstylist you hire should be able to work with all hair textures.
Yes.
And if you have kinky or curly hair textures on set and you don't provide a hairstylist to them, that is a problem. You're doing them a disservice.
Right.
So you have actresses like Yvette Michelle Brown and Gabrielle Union and supermodel Naomi Anderson has been going on for years about how people are brought into set. They cannot do their hair and their makeup, and these celebrities themselves are responsible for doing their own hair and makeup, while you have a hairstylist and makeup artist that sits over and collects a check. And that's absolutely unbelievable. Things should not be that way. And you know, there's two parts of the industry. There's the film part and the print part.
Right.
So sometimes unions come into play in terms of getting on film. Sometimes it comes into play that the entertainer doesn't even know that they can request you, because it might be there's different levels to the union. Sometimes it comes down to the entertainer doesn't know that she can tie your rate into her contract. There can be a lot of different things, a lot of different reasons why we aren't brought in. So I find that a lot of people just don't even realize that world exists. And you have reality TV and stuff now, so they have a much wider view than I had when I started 20 years ago. We didn't even have social media. You would never have any idea how to reach out to a hairstylist behind the scenes. But yeah, I engaged in a very healthy debate with Gabrielle Union on Twitter about the lack of hairstylists backstage. And I let her know, you have the power to request. And it's very clear that it's not easy for you to do. But it's also, on the flip side, what I tell my brothers and sisters that want to work on set, like I do mainly print, photo shoots, red carpets, and celebrity work, there's an entirely different etiquette that's needed from what you have in the salon.
Yes, very true.
And it's things that you can learn, but you have to put forth that effort and budget to learn these things.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to be given to you for free, but once you learn this etiquette, you start marketing yourself. I mean, we're naturally creative.
Right.
There's spots sitting there waiting for you. These spots should not go to stylists who do not know how to do their job.
It shouldn't. It shouldn't at all. And I'm so happy that conversation is happening now. You know, I really feel that it's going to start opening more doors for stylists that need that opportunity. You know, that know how to style all types of hair textures.
Absolutely.
I think it's so important.
Yeah, I remember an A-list actress talking to me, and she was saying that what she does is at the beginning of the film, she'll ask for a wig. And wigs at that point, I mean, were $1,800, $2,500. And she would have to fight and haggle back and forth for a decent looking wig. But she's required to do her own hair every day on set because they don't know how to blend the edges. And then she has to go and fix her makeup. But it becomes a political problem. If you're always complaining about hair and makeup, who knows what side production is going to side with?
Yeah.
The actress or the hair and makeup?
Yeah.
Oh, this is an issue that has so many different layers, and I'm going to be the first to admit there are far more problems than solutions, but I am creating a solution by helping to teach artists that want to work on set the things that they need to do and the things that they need to learn to get there.
Well, awesome. Well, we're going to learn a little bit more about that. I would love to hear more about that, but we're going to take a quick break, you guys, so we'll be right back.
What's up, everybody? Listen, I know what it's like to have a 404 credit score because just like you, I used to be that way too. But today I'm in a situation where I have a much better credit score, and I put people in positions to be just like that too. So today I want you to schedule your free consultation right now. I want to meet you. I want to get excited. I want you to meet our team. I want you to talk to our sales representatives that's going to assist you with the credit process in general. Sign up at our website at engineer.com.
In a world where nothing is certain, only music can help you to find the right way. The way you should follow today. This way will take you to the best genres of music from around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your favorite radio station.
This is Afro Vibes Radio Houston.
Hey guys, we are back. You're listening to Behind the Beauty Unleashed right here on Afro Vibes Radio with your host, Amber Lee. And we have been talking with the wonderful celebrity hairstylist, Miss Monaè Everett. And you were going into education, and now you have this full academy called Monaè Life Academy. And you have a brand new online course called Preparing for Set. So tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so a lot of artists say, oh, I would love to work on set, but they don't realize there are steps you need to take to prepare, which includes preparing your portfolio. And if you're preparing your portfolio, you got to do some photo shoots to have some story-worthy work of your hairstyling.
People need to see what you can do.
Exactly. That is another way of thinking of it, is a resume.
Yes.
So you have to show something. And what people don't realize is that these photo shoots, not only do they show your work as a hairstylist, they show how well you're able to work with a team. So I teach people how to research and develop their own photo shoots, seek out their own creative professionals, come up with themes, ideas, create a mood board. I teach them about vocabulary and how to properly present themselves to industry insiders. And I usually do demos. And I've decided to do this particular class online because a lot of people aren't able to make it to New York. But you can have this come to the comfort of your own home, watch it from any mobile device. It is very interactive. You can ask me any questions as we go along. And the best part is you'll be able to go back and replay it at your convenience.
I was just going to ask that. Like, can you go back and replay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Because I've taken classes like in-person classes before, and sometimes you're like, dang, I wish I would have like recorded that, but that's awesome. I'm loving that more professional hairstylists, makeup artists, celebrity hairstylists, makeup artists are doing this. They're doing more online classes so that the industry can learn from you guys. And one thing I definitely want to applaud you just for doing that, because I feel like how else are other generations gonna learn, without professional people like you, having that information for them.
Exactly. I operate out of an open hand theory. Everybody wants to open their hand and say, could you give me something? Mm-hmm. But the truth of the matter is, if your hand is not open, given to somebody else, you'll run out of space. The only way you can grow is to give to someone else. Now, all growth is not free.
Right.
But it's growth nonetheless,
It is growth nonetheless. That's awesome. And then you're also going to be in Vegas as well.
Yeah, so I'm going to be at the International Beauty Show Las Vegas with Kia Neal, and we'll be teaching a class called Texture versus Race, where we're showing that every single ethnicity has all 4 hair textures within them. So it's about learning how to style the hair, not about race. There is no black hair, white hair, right, or whatever. You know, you'll find loose curls on black girls, tight curls on white girls, Asians with curly hair, Hispanics across the board. And, you know, we're just really working to dispel the myths that black hair is so difficult, or like a Brillo pad, or takes so much longer, and really teach you how to work smarter, not harder. And that's another, going back to the Monaè Life Academy, all of my classes teach you how to work smarter, not harder, strategically. If you learn to work strategically and how to break down any hairstyle into generally 5 sections, you're no longer overwhelmed by the hair. You work out a plan, you go in with the plan, you know how to change that plan if things are not going the way you thought they would, and come out with a beautiful product at the end.
That sounds amazing. And I completely agree with you, because I have a salon and I specialize in curly textured hair as well, and I have literally everybody in my chair. Like literally everybody. And you're right. I mean, it doesn't matter what race you are. Same thing. I have Asian women in my chair with curly frizzy hair. I have Caucasian women. I have Hispanic women. I mean, literally, I have black women with like wavy, almost straight hair. So it just, it just all depends. But yeah, I definitely think that our industry is changing, especially since black women are being more represented on TV. You know, we're going to need these professionals coming in knowing what they're doing.
Absolutely. You know, I draw attention to this fact. If you think about a pioneer like Naomi Campbell, I think most people would know that name now. I remember a few years ago, she was on the beach and the wind blew back, and it showed that she was suffering from a lot of...
I remember that.
from a lot of baldness. And I
Yeah.
remember so many people thought it was funny. And I'm like, you don't
No.
understand. She sacrificed
She did.
her hair follicle to
Mhm.
make waves and make a way for so
Yes.
many more people to follow behind her. Not just other models, hairstylists, makeup artists, designers.
Mhm.
She made being Black cool and literally walks around with a battle scar daily.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, one, I applaud her for that. And two, I want to make sure that that's no longer okay. It's no longer okay to burn out somebody's hair and give them traction alopecia because you have people working on the head who have no business touching hair.
Right. It's true. It's true. So, really quick, can you give us, for, I do have some listeners that are hairstylists and they are interested in working on set. Can you give us 3 tips to get there? Like, just at least to start.
Sure. So the first thing you want to do is learn how to create your own photo shoot, because you have to find a way to show the type of work that you do. So you want to create a photo story, which will come from a photo shoot to help you begin with a portfolio. Believe it or not, that was one thing. That was one tip.
Oh, okay.
Next up, you want to begin to market yourself. And the way you market yourself is going to vary. It might be emailing, it might be business cards, it might be word of mouth, but now you'll have something to hand to people, so you need to market yourself. And number 3, which all of these could be in any particular order because all of them are equally as important. They could all be number 1. You want to learn how to style all hair textures, because when you're first coming up, whatever situation that you're put in, you'll probably, I find that it's usually easier to start with runway shows and stuff like that. You'll always be given the model that the more senior artists don't want to take. And whatever that is, their hair texture or haircut is usually different from the majority of other models there. You got to slay
You have
that
to slay
model.
it. Yes.
Slay it to the point where they say, gosh,
They're like,
maybe I
dang.
should have taken them. Yeah, where they can only
Right.
respect you. Because you'll have to earn your respect. So like I said, well, those 3 tips, all 3 of them could be number 1, because they're equally the most important things that you'll need to do to set yourself apart and, get attention. And you also want to be pleasant. A lot of people think that this industry is really snotty and nasty, but it's about who likes you. So if people don't like you, they're not going to want to work with you.
Yeah, because I was reading the article on O, and it was saying like, okay, you're gonna be on set with these people for hours and hours, like all day. So you're gonna have to like who you work with, so they people, they end up choosing who they like to work with as opposed to how skilled the person is.
That's an absolute truth. And that was actually my quote. And I was given that as an explanation for why you don't see a lot of variety on set, because people want to work with their friends. And even if you are a person who is happy to work with all types of people, if you feel like the industry wasn't there for you, when you get the chance to bring in people, you're probably going to bring in people similar to you. It's true.
It's very, very true. And then,
but this is also why I offer. I'm sorry to cut you off.
You're
This
fine.
is
You're
also why I offer the opportunity. I do a lot of meet and greets. I'm always looking for assistants. I tend to choose assistants that have taken my courses, though, so that they have an understanding of my demeanor and how to work with me, because attitude is more important. I can always teach you skill. But that attitude,
you got to fix that, girl.
yeah. And some people you line up well with and some you don't. But I'm always looking for assistance, and I'm always happy to pour into people. I even run a private Facebook group for people who have taken my courses, and they can continue to ask questions and things of that nature. No artist left behind.
That's awesome. Have you ever done a class in Houston, or do you ever plan on coming to Houston?
I can go wherever a plane can get me. I would love to travel there and do a class.
Okay, let me see if I can put something together, girl. I'm excited.
Yeah, I would
Yes.
love to. I would love to. I've done tons of hands-on classes, and eventually I probably will do some hands-on classes. Actually, I plan to do some in New York in the fall. But New York it's not cheap to put on classes. I always tell people, y'all ask for these classes, but you gotta sign up and show up for them. They're expensive. So we're starting with the online classes, and people are really loving it. I've had people picking up my book, Stunning Braids, because they were happy to see step-by-step tutorials in a book form. I have hundreds of videos on YouTube. They tend to kind of work more towards styling, and this is teaching you, my classes that are teaching you more how to advance your career and how to style for photography work. Trust me, that is very different from styling for a salon client.
Very, very different. Well, thank you so much for chatting with us tonight.
Oh, no problem. And let me leave with one last thing.
Yes, please.
In 2019, so many artists think they don't need portfolios and photo shoots anymore because they have Instagram. The reason that's not true, not only because the site can go down at any time, but that means you're only showing me what you want me to see. And your website shows me how you work with fellow creatives, especially on shoots that cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. Anybody can take one shot and make it look great behind the scenes, but can you be a part of a team that creates a 6, 8, 10-page story?
Yeah.
It's a whole other thing.
It's a whole other thing. Well, Miss Monaè, let us know where our listeners can find you, where they can register for your classes and subscribe to your channel. Just list it all, girl.
All right, so my social media is pretty consistent all the way across. Monaè Artistry, Monae Artistry. And you can find out more about my classes at themonaelife.com.
Well, you guys, that is our show. Again, thank you, Miss Monaè. I am so excited for your journey with everything that you're doing. Congratulations on just being you.
Oh, thank you so much.
I've always been a fan ever since I met you in 2015. So thank you for just being you. I will definitely check out your classes, and we gonna see if we can get something in Houston, because I would love to see you in Houston, because Houston will definitely show you some love for sure.
Okay, well, I'm down and you down, and no more of this fan business. Now
Yes,
we
ma'am.
homies.
Yes, we homies. I'll be like, hey, buddy,
Yes.
what's up, girl?
Exactly. So the next conversation you have in your head about me, girl, just include me. Pick up the phone. We can talk. It's all
Yes,
good.
I have your number now. Okay.
Yes, you have my number, so it's all good. I greatly appreciate you having me on the show.
No problem. You guys, okay. So that is the end of our show. Meet us here next week, Wednesday at 4 p.m. Take care.
What's up, everybody? Listen, I know what it's like to have a 404 credit score, because just like you, I used to be that way too. But today I'm in a situation where I have a much better credit score, and I put people in positions to be just like that too. So today I want you to schedule your free consultation right now. I want to meet you. I want to get excited. I want you to meet our team. I want you to talk to our sales representatives that's going to assist you with the credit process in general. We have an amazing team, and if you click below to get started today, we can start improving your credit score as well.